Yeah, rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those podcasts rolling. I am so happy to be here. This is coming out with Jeffrey Marsh, and I hope you enjoy listening. I certainly enjoy doing. Our thing that we're pondering today in regard to coming out is this. Coming out is a lifelong process. It might make for a great story, but coming out is not something you do once and then move on, right? Then your life is perfect after that. I am a Vine superstar. 170 plus million views. How about that? On Vine. But this is just the latest tiny chapter in all the identities, all the jobs, all the things that I've gone through. And I'm sure you can relate. When I was just started high school, 9th grade, I knew deep down in my heart that I was going to grow up to be a science teacher. Now, first of all, as a sidebar, what do you want to be when you grow up is the worst question you can ask a young person. Because I grew up saying 12 different things at once. Yeah, I want to be Barbie. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a lady physicist. I want to be an author. I want to be a TV star. I want to be so many things. And I can't narrow them all down to one. But one of the things I was cycling through when I got to 9th grade was science teacher. And you want to know the reason? Because I had do you hear New York City in the background? Life is calling us. I wanted to be a oh, that's my ride. I wanted to be a science teacher so badly because I had an excellent science teacher. Anybody else go through something like that? Right? You have an excellent history teacher or librarian, or your coach was excellent, so you want to grow up to be them. And what I realized later, of course, in life is I wanted to grow up to be myself, to be so vibrantly me. And that's what my science teacher was doing. So I realized I don't want to grow up to be a science teacher. I want to grow up to be me. And by the way, me is part science teacher, part Vine star, part cabaret singer, part everything that a human being can do and be enthusiastic about. Ms. L was a vision. She was the only teacher I ever had who wore scrubs to school. She looked like a medical intern, and it worked for her. Oh my gosh, scrubs and some kind of sturdy shoes at the bottom, dance clothes perhaps, or maybe she wore, what are those called? The ones, Crocs. Maybe she wore Crocs. Up at the top was blonde hair. She pulled it way back into, always had it in this sort of ponytail, right? Which to me says, I'm not going to do my hair today. I've got too much science to do. And that's the thing. She was so enthusiastic. She was so vital. And she made a Jell-O mold for us. Now today I'm vegan. I have not had Jell-O in years and years and years, but I remember how excellent that Jell-O was that she brought in. It had multiple layers. Pineapple, it stuck in the layers. There's pineapple in a green layer. I remember some kind of like reddish or pink layer with gummy worms in it. The Jell-O mold was science. Not how does Jell-O form, but the layers in her Jell-O mold. She must have spent all night the night before making this Jell-O. It represented the layers of the stratosphere. That's a good science teacher. And that's a good life. I love her so much to this day. And she's a hero of mine to this day because she was so much herself. And that's what Jacob does. In this interview for our podcast today, you'll hear Jacob sort of sifting through different identities that they have been, that Jacob has been throughout Jacob's life. And I've gone through the same process. That's why Jacob's a hero of mine. Jacob is also a writer for Huffington Post Gay Voices. Jacob is a leader in the LGBTQIAA political movement. Jacob's an internet personality, and on and on and on. But what you'll hear is real, honest talk about not coming out once and having it be over, not being one thing. You'll hear real, honest talk in this interview about being multitudinous, about being vibrantly alive and shifting and changing and coming out as a lifelong process.